Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. So, as usual, if anyone's in the live chat, could you let me know if everything's good, the sound, the video, and if I am indeed live? I'll wait a couple of seconds, as usual, just to make sure. Hi, Habib, sound is good. Hello, Jean-Pierre, I hope you're doing well. And hope you had a great weekend. So, I guess that's enough to get into the live, right? So of course, a lot has happened this week, and let's recap as much as we can. Right? I don't want to waste too much time on the recap since we have done YouTube updates, pretty much calling every single move to perfection. So I don't think there's a big need to recap what happened. But again, I mean, if I open the charts, actually these are the levels shared in every update. This low was called on Monday. Then we had this support level that was called in advance, and then we had this support level that was also called in advance. And for this drop, I got on the 1 hour chart, right? So this was the last like retracement before we saw that big pump. This one, that's when we came out with an update on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, where I did want to see that final retracement, right? I want to see a move back into my area to see a big and aggressive drop to take out this low at $108,000 to then see that big reversal to the upside. Unfortunately, this scenario started out extremely well. We got the move up, we got the aggressive drop exactly as I wanted to see. We got the imbalances, even on the hourly chart. As you can see, we had two imbalances, exactly what I wanted to see as mentioned in the update. But unfortunately, I actually got front run and price just moved up without me. So I wasn't able to catch this long position. I mean, at some point, I'm going to miss a move because, again, it's not to brag or anything, but it's just a recap. We pretty much have been calling every single low during this entire uptrend and also in the past. So it would have been so nice to get this last prediction right, but it didn't happen. Again, it was this low that I wanted to see taken out. We just front ran it right there by about $500, and then we reverse higher. Funnily enough, where did price bottom? Well, it's my own indicator that betrayed me. We had a partially filled already right there. So if I zoom in, you can see we didn't hit the open. So you had the partial fill, you jumped into it to fill it, and that's where price reversed from. So again, just I think everything played out extremely nicely until now, and we are now seeing a new all-time high. Site, I wasn't able to be too active this week just because it was a bit of a hectic week. Not gonna dive into it, just personal stuff, but yeah. Okay, so now we can dive into what's happening right now and what you can expect next. Um, so while we are moving up, of course, I think now I can remove this level. I can even remove this one. I'll keep these two levels as reference points and the all-time high, and I think that will be it. So we are moving up on Sunday. As you can see, we have a 4 hour imbalance. We kind of have a swing failure pattern, but price for now is just moving up. So if I want to find levels for retracements, well, you can see we have a daily imbalance right there. So I can already be interested in this daily open. And then on Binance, we have two daily imbalances. So this gives me even more of a reason to want to see the open of this daily candle hit. Okay, so if you go back on Bybit, I think this level already looks very interesting. Then if I go on the 4 hour, maybe on Binance, can I find any confluence? Let me mark out the level, this one. And then 1 hour, nothing. And then, okay, we have a 30-minute right there. So let me move this on Binance. We have the same one on Bybit, yes. So for now, the first area that I want to mark out, I have to be honest, guys, I didn't really analyze the charts too much, so I am fully analyzing this right now. This is a first interesting area, just below $116,300. I think this would be my first area of interest. Then we do have, could you recover this daily imbalance for now? I think that's unlikely. So I think that would be my plan for now. if we take an anchored view up from this low, okay, I'll keep an eye on that anchored view up. I'll keep this on my chart. And yeah, I think honestly that for now this is all I need. Okay, I don't need much more. Overall, of course, the trend is up and you should probably expect higher prices. I don't think we'll get a deep retracement yet, which is why this level is very satisfactory to me until now. If I take this anchored view up from here, this has crossed above my area, so I'm not a fan of it. So I think I'll keep this anchored view up. I think what I would look for this week, so it would be this anchored view up to continue its way up, something like this potentially. If we can get one more high on Bitcoin, I'll dive into this scenario that I'm looking for. I would like to see a drop into the support and anchored view up to then see a reversal to the upside. Okay, so I think this would be the support to outline right now. I don't really see anything interesting below. Maybe you can look at this uptrend. Nothing for this high. Yeah. I think for now this is the only interesting level to me, guys. Okay, so the way I would build my plan around this indicator is that of course we are moving into a new all-time high, so I don't have past data to analyze. Okay, this is just blue sky, so mainly you'll have to trade psychological levels and fib extensions. Now, the first big psychological coming up is going to be $120,000. Okay, so you can mark it out on your charts, $120,000. And overall, of course, I am expecting higher prices. So ideally, I do have to say what I would love to see is it does look like we want to make one more high. So maybe, okay, take out this high, front shunt $120,000, get that drop, make people believe that this was a big front shunt of the major psychological level, and then you get that reversal to then take out this target. Okay, and talking about fib extensions, I did talk about this one briefly while analyzing altcoins. It wasn't this one, it was the golden expansion. So you can look at this. Where is this? From here to here. And you can see that it does come in just above $120,000. So for me, this scenario, I think looks the best. I just want to go back to the equilibrium. Pretty simple scenario today. I would like to play around this psychological level. Okay, so potentially one more high, stay below that level, get that drop tomorrow, hit this daily open. We have a 30-minute imbalance on Bybit and Binance, and on Binance, even more important, we have this second daily imbalance that I would love to see recovered. Okay, which is the daily open that we outlined on Bybit right there. That would be my plan for now. If we get it, then of course I can make a YouTube update outlining what I would look for next. But for now, I think that this would be my my plan. Pretty simple. I won't keep it too complicated. So anything else I want to cover on Bitcoin? I'd like to go over the Elliott wave count. And it's been a while I haven't counted Elliott waves, but I don't know. I've been looking at this count and I don't think I love it as much. So I'm just gonna hide this and see if I can come up with something. Where is it? Primary bull. So I'll just see if I can come out with something a bit more interesting. The only thing that I was thinking about is a 1-2-1-2-1-2. So by the way, if you guys have any questions, okay, I'm open to reading the live chat right now, just because I do believe that I've covered my main plan on Bitcoin, and we'll go over altcoins as well. But I am interested in this 1-2-1-2. Where is it? So 1-2. And could you potentially look for another, either that was 1-2 and now you're moving up, or could you look for now a 1-2 and then a move up? Of course, the drop wouldn't be that deep, but I think you got my point. Maybe this was already the 1-2, but problem with this now is that I'll have to count this wave on the lower time frames. which is a bit complicated to count. So how about that was 2, 3, no, that was an extension. So it's going to be a hard count to come up with right now. First thing is that I'm seeing how this could come up in a 5 wave. You know, could this actually be, I won't over focus on this, guys, okay? I'm just trying to come up with something on the Elliott waves. Could this be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then this would be your wave 2. Maybe something like this. I think that looks nice. I think I'm gonna keep this for now, just to keep this in mind. If you guys don't understand Elliott waves, just ask questions, but I think I actually like this. When you trade all-time highs, by the way, Elliott waves are always a good way to kind of predict future price action. Since again, as I said, I don't have past data to look at. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then 1, 2. And then you move up. I'll have to dive deeper into this one, but that would be interesting to get, which would give you that retracement that I just talked about, that move up above $120,000, and then maybe a dump to fill that daily imbalance right there. 111. Yeah, I think that looks decent. I'll have to look more at it on my own. That's definite. So, what is your top price target, and when do you think it will be reached? Oh man, that's well, for now, I do believe that just above $120,000 will be a first important level. On the longer term, I would be aiming for somewhere around $140,000 maybe. The problem with 120, and why I would actually love to see this now that I think about it more, is that too many people are looking at it. So if you actually get that front run of that level and then you see a drop, and then another rise above it, and then another drop. Okay, so this is me expanding on the scenario. This would make a lot of people believe that this was a big top because so many people are talking about this level. And then you could get that bigger move up. So that's why I think this area is so interesting, and why I would like to get the front run now, simply because so many people are looking at it. And then you take it out and then you dump. I hope that you guys are keeping up with this thought process, but I think over the longer term you should expect around $140,000. That would be my target. I think it makes sense to go there. Okay, and $150,000 would be a massive psychological level. So could we see a top coming in below that massive psychological level? I think it's possible. Okay, I think that would make sense. You can see, for example, this top, it was put in just before the next major psychological level, which was 100K, and then the next one comes in at $110,000. What happened? You front run this big psychological level. You can see you topped out just below it, and this marked the top for that big retracement that we got. Okay, so I would look for something similar. Okay, it's hard to predict. This is very abstract. Okay, it's not as accurate at these scenarios that we shared down there, but I think for now $140,000 would be my target. Could be wrong. Maybe 120K will actually end up offering a much longer term top, but for now that's what I would like to see. Down, up, and then potentially, depending on the reaction that we get, another move to the downside. And even though we got that move up, remember guys, this is still summer price action, okay? So it would kind of make sense to get this somewhat choppy price action, okay? Down, up, down, going into summer, and then maybe when we enter August to September, we can start to move higher, okay? So yeah, if we make another another high, I might consider opening a short position. I'm just gonna put an alert after the stream actually, because right now I'm in front of the charts. What do you think about global liquidity? I don't look at it too much. I don't think it affects too much again. Look, guys, remember, we didn't predict every single one of these scenarios by looking at global liquidity and stuff. I literally just gave you these scenarios by looking at the chart. So I think that at least that's my opinion. Just try to eliminate all of these additional factors uh, that just add complexity to your analysis. Okay, I think this will hurt you more than benefit you. And even this low, if anyone forgot, I was bullish down there. I mean, if I can find the message again, what is happening? So if I can find the message again, I think that's what I said. I still think we bounce. Still think we bounce. I remember that's yeah. So remember, guys, $74,000. I was bullish down there. We had seen the bounce. I didn't like this high, and I didn't like this low. We had made the update on YouTube. And remember, I still wanted to see break below that low to then see a bounce. That's exactly what happened. So I give you all of these scenarios not by looking at these external, not too important things in my opinion. Okay, I think again, just keep your trading simple, and I think the charts tell you everything you need to know. That's just my opinion. Some people will disagree, but I I am ready to say that we've had probably the most accurate analysis on online, simply. So then we can move on to altcoins if you don't have any more questions about Bitcoin. Ethereum, of course, this one didn't play out, but I wanted to see this high taken out to then see a reversal. This didn't happen, simply followed Bitcoin, but our Bitcoin prediction, I think maybe it could have helped you reconsider this scenario. So what could I look for next on Ethereum? So we can look at this. This is low. That's gonna be a hard one to look for that next retracement on Ethereum. Don't really have any value area. So we have that big one, which would come on top of this 12-hour. And you kind of have resistance, 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 flipped into support. If that's the daily open, I think that would be okay. So this is a daily open, okay, just below it. I think this would be your level on Ethereum for retracement, 2,768. Does it get reached? Potentially, I think, if you can get that drop on Bitcoin, and you would, of course, target the fill of this daily imbalance at $3,111. So potentially something like this on Ethereum would look nice. Okay, if I draw it again, up, up, down, and then back up to target this. I think that's, for now, that's what I would focus on Ethereum. Do we have any volume profile? We have the value area high in this area as well, which is nice. Check for Solana. Okay, we'll check for Solana, don't worry. Solana, again, pretty simple. We had just shared one level on this. I mean, pretty much two levels. We had this first one, that was the major market bottom, and then I gave you this second one about 3 to 4 weeks ago. We tapped it to the cent pretty much and got a big bounce to the upside. Solana, I think it will go for the recovery of both of these dailies. And of course, you do want to find confluence. So can I find anything right there since the low? That's beautiful. Okay, so you have a point of control right on this level on Solana, 151. Also a big psychological level. Remember, 150 is a big psychological level. So this is a very nice level on Solana, 151 to be exact. You have the daily. We just saw the point of control. We have a 4-hour order block. I would just be aware of this level. So if you want to be a bit safer, I would mark out an area which would go from here to here. Okay. But for now, I think you can just focus on 151 and trade price action. Okay. If you jump through it, just remember that you have this smaller level at 149, which is still around the major 150 psychological level, and then you can see that reversal up. But for now, I really like 151. I think this, if we drop into it, this could offer a very nice bounce to the upside. Something like this, okay? So I'll put an alert for this one. 151. Let's put it at 152. That would be my alert on Solana. Is there a chance that retail won't come back? What do you mean? What do you mean about this? At Atom? I don't know what you mean about this. Is there a chance that retail won't come back? Won't come back from what? Is there a chance that retail won't come back? I don't know if you could elaborate on this question. I didn't really understand it. So, okay, that was Solana. Binance Coin. I was looking at this one recently. I mean, this one was insanely technical. I mean, look, if you just look at the daily imbalances, look, daily imbalance offered the top for a massive drop. Okay, just from that daily imbalance, I mean, you had an extremely accurate entry for a massive 30% drop. Then the next one was, okay, this one didn't offer a rejection, but look right here. You have these two imbalances. You jumped into the first one, it offered a very nice bounce, and then you jumped into the second one and it offered a second bounce. So I mean, Binance Coin has been insanely technical. I wasn't looking at this coin, which is pretty unfortunate, but I can tell, I mean, you can look at them. Daily imbalances on this coin have been extremely accurate. And even this one, actually, you can see you had this daily imbalance. You filled it to the dollar right there, filled it to the dollar, and then continued to drop. So yeah, this coin has been extremely technical. And this does look nice down there. Again, I'll have to find a confluence. I'm pretty interested in this. Okay, we don't. From there, we have the value area high just below. That would be very nice. Ooh, that would be nice. Okay, so this would... I don't know. My bad. How do I get out of this? Nah, man, come on. Move mouse to top. Okay, my bad. I mean, I don't trade this coin often, you can tell, I guess. What is happening? Wait, guys, I'm confused. Okay. I'll keep this level. I won't put an alert on it, but this one does look interesting simply because, again, you can see that this coin has respected daily imbalances super well in the past. So I'll keep this level, but without an alert. I think Solana does look a bit more interesting since you have the point of control right on it. And Ethereum, even this one, I don't think we got this second daily imbalance recovery. That would be a big sign of weakness, but this one does look nice on Ethereum. And okay, so there was one coin that I did want to cover. XRP just blew past our long time resistance, so I can remove this. I don't see anything right there. But one coin that I'm looking for is Kaito. This coin, you can see I've already done a bit of analysis on it. One thing I can already tell you is that this low is extremely ugly. You can see I have set an alert right here, just above that low. This is an extremely ugly low, so I do believe it will be taken out. Now, ideally on Kaito, I would like to see one last drop, because I think that this is a very strong coin, into the support below to then see a massive pump to the upside, and that level would be just below 1.3. That would be Kaito, and that would be my main focus for now. I think this is the best looking altcoin that hasn't pumped too much right now following Bitcoin, and that has good levels coming up. This one is an extremely strong area. Why? Well, pretty simple. You have daily imbalance, daily order block, which is an imbalance. You have a 12-hour imbalance, and I do remember that it didn't have an anchored view up. I don't think so. But I do remember I had something else, which I think was this volume profile. Yes, you can see you have the value area low right there. So this level down there is super interesting. I would love to get it. So something like this. So you have daily order block, daily imbalance, 12-hour imbalance, and the volume profile of this entire range, value area low. This is a very nice level. And if Bitcoin does continue on moving up towards 140k, I think that Kaito will make a new all-time high. Okay, so that's why I'm so interested in this coin. And that would be my personal main play for this market. Pengu has just been, I don't know what's going on with this coin, but yeah. uh, that would be my play on Kaito, and that would be my main focus for this market. What makes a low ugly or pretty? Well, it's just wicks. I mean, we can talk about Avis since I think you had asked about this coin before. We gave a very good scenario. I still remember it. So it was this one. What I told you is that I wanted to see this high taken out because it was a very ugly high, and you can see that why was it an ugly high? You didn't have any wicks. So you take out that high, you hit this imbalance, you fill this lower imbalance, and then you got that rejection. Okay? So when you have these ugly highs and lows, we had another one on ENA. I was looking at this coin a while ago, and it was this low. Same thing you can see on the 4-hour. You didn't have any wicks. On the 12-hour as well, I think you didn't have any wicks as well. You can see on the 12-hour, no wicks, and on the daily, I think as well we didn't have any wicks. So this low, yes, this low. You can see you don't have any wicks. So when you see these wickless lows, these act as a massive magnet to price. And you can see what this one did, filled the daily imbalance, and then dropped to take out this very ugly low. So when you see these honestly always offer the best trades. I mean, in this case, for example, I had this resistance. I mean, daily imbalance, you guys know. So when you move them up into this resistance, you see the rejection. You have this ugly low. Honestly, it's one of the easiest short trades to take. And of course, the opposite if you have ugly highs. So Kaito, you can look at it. Now, it is just a 4-hour low, okay? We don't have 12-hour and daily like we had on ENA, for example, but 4-hour is still very important. You don't have any wicks on this low, which makes it a very ugly low and a magnet to price, okay? So that's the main reason why. I mean, that's how in general to analyze ugly highs and lows. And you can see right there, actually, we have an ugly high. So if you get that drop, okay, this high would be a very nice one to target. Is it one on the 12-hour? You can see now the 12-hour looks better. So this one, it's still a magnet, but you can see less so than ENA, where you literally had ugly lows on every single time frame. On the 4-hour, on the 12-hour, and finally on the daily. So that's what make highs and lows ugly or good. You always want to see a wick. By retail, I mean the people like average Joe who thinks crypto is a scam, will they FOMO in? Well, retail always FOMOs. I mean, that's what imbalances allow you to see. They do allow you to see where retail FOMOs in and what the market maker is doing. So up here, when you have an imbalance, this is where the market maker is building shorts and retail is building longs. But of course, in a bull market, the longs will be more rewarded. Reckless longs will be more rewarded simply because it's a bull market and you don't have to take out that liquidity. Okay, unlike, for example, maybe a market where price is going sideways and most people will get chopped out. So yes, retail will FOMO, but my understanding right now is that people are not that bullish yet. And that's what, for example, down there made me so bullish, because I mean, that was a lower time frame play, but I saw so many people wanting to see the deviation below that low, which of course, personally, as you know, I didn't agree with at all. So for now, my view is not really an understanding, but my view is that retail hasn't really FOMO'd in yet. Now you do have the daily imbalances, which is why I want to see that small drop. You do have this second daily imbalance, which is one too much for me, which I would like to see recovered. Okay, but you don't have to recover that one because, I mean, I just explained why. Okay, it's a bull market and you don't have to wreck all the longs. But to answer the question simply, by retail who thinks crypto is a scam, would they FOMO in? Retail, as usual, they will FOMO in at the top. Right now, in my opinion, FOMO is not at all-time highs. And that's just my opinion. Maybe you have a different one, but to me, FOMO right now is not really high. Maybe FOMO will come in when you break above $120,000 because again, it's a major psychological level, in which case you could get the scenario that I talked about previously, okay? But again, you play around psychological levels because from their name, this is when retail traders start to act emotionally. Okay, you can look, for example, at the first time that we broke above $100,000, which was right there. Mark out this level. Come on, 100,000. So look, the first time you broke above this level, because right there, this was $99,000. But the first time you broke above it, look at this massive dump that you got. Why is that? Because $100,000 is a massive psychological level. And when you break it, everyone will pile into longs because again, 100,000 is a psychological level and that will trigger people to do something. So I am looking at $120,000, not as importantly because it is a smaller level and right now I do believe that we go higher, but you can see I am building my plan around this level. I hope that answers your question and that I didn't talk too much. Do you think ETH can hit 4K? Hello TGMF, I hope you're well. Do you think ETH can hit 4K? Yes. I mean, why not? We can look at the weekly. Yeah, that would be 4K. Yeah. I think ETH will be on its way to probably. I would like to say new all-time highs, but I mean we're still in this range. So you can see, for example, the way you play this higher time frame bias on a lower time frame scenario is exactly what you're doing right here. So you find a lower time frame level, you take a trade, and you look to take it higher, potentially to take out these highs. But yes, I do believe that ETH has a lot of upside potential. How do you know that the market makers are going to short on a high and retail goes long? I mean, market makers, they don't really short highs and long lows. Like, that's not the way you look at it. Market makers look for money and liquidity. So what do I mean by this? Again, how can I explain this in simple terms? So market makers, you shouldn't really look at them as pure traders. So it's not, if they long this low, they want to see higher prices, or maybe if they want to see a job is because they're bearish. The reason that, for example, market makers will make the price drop in this case below that low is because what lies below this low is a lot of liquidity that will allow them to get their orders filled. Okay, so it's not so much that they're trading, it's mostly that they're looking for liquidity, which is the logic behind my imbalances. Why do I mark these imbalances, which as you can see always offer extremely strong levels? Because right there you have a lot of liquidity, and what this allows the what this allows the MM to do is fill their positions. So if price, for example, was to drop from here, it's not a big problem for MMs, mainly because one, they do have a lot of money, and two, they're not really traders and they don't take a lot of risk. So in this case, for example, they might be shorting Bitcoin on this uptrend. So when you see this imbalance, they might be shorting Bitcoin, but then what they might be doing is going long on the ETFs. And this is what you call delta neutral, okay? So it's a bit long to explain. I hope that this quick explanation was good enough, but market makers, you shouldn't really look at them as traders. They don't long lows and short highs. What they do is look for pools of liquidity to fill orders, to enter and exit the markets and put their money to work. So on this uptrend, you can see, for example, this tells you, for example, when you have a 1 hour imbalance right there, that the market maker is building shorts, but right now he's underwater. So is that a problem? That's not a problem because of the reasons I just talked about. They have a lot of money, they can average up and down, and mostly they look for pools of liquidity, and they are delta neutral, which means that they don't take a lot of risk. They don't really care if price goes up or down. All they look for is pools of liquidity. I would like to hear you explain market makers in more depth. I mean, market makers, you have to look at them mostly as algorithms. Okay, I mean, you do have people, but I would say 75% of MMs are going to be algorithms. And what they do, again, as I just explained, they look for pools of liquidity. The reason that price moves in whichever direction it does, to whichever point it does, is because you have a big pool of liquidity. Again, if you look at imbalances, I did explain in our courses, by the way. If I open our courses, right there inside this course, I do talk about the open of candles and the open of imbalances and why they're so important, and they do represent big pools of liquidity. Okay, I do dive into these reasons right now. It's a bit long to explain, but the reason that these levels are so important is because, again, you have pools of liquidity. And it's not a coincidence that they always offer support. I mean, offered support there, offered support there. What was that? Remember, mainly it was the open of this daily candle. Okay, so the reason that the market makers make price drop there, if you want to call it that way, is because what you have right there is a lot of stop losses and liquidations. So when price drops there, it's not that they open long positions because they want to see a bounce or they're bullish or whatever. They fill their long positions because there's a lot of there's a lot of orders to be taken down there, and that's their jobs, is to fill orders. Okay, so honestly, I do believe that this quick explanation is more than enough to help you understand market makers, because most people look at them as traders, I think. Okay, that's not really what they do. Like, they don't trade in the sense of like they have a bias on Bitcoin, they're bullish, so they look for long positions. That's not what they do. Okay, they look for money to be traded inside of the charts. Do the market makers also create a franchon? Yes. I mean, yes. They move the markets pretty much. Okay, when they're done bidding price. Okay, so we can dive into this even deeper. I just talked about this right now. When price goes up, what they're doing is mostly opening short positions. Okay, market makers don't open market long positions. All they do is limit orders. So when price drops, we can take this example, okay, right there. When price drops, what they're doing is bidding price. So they're bidding a lot inside of this imbalance. They're bidding a lot inside of these two imbalances right there. So what they're doing is bidding prices to buy Bitcoin. Okay, I just explained why. Because what you have on these drops is you have stop losses and liquidations, and this allows them to fill orders. So the reason that price stops down there, for example, is not because, as I said, they have a level right there and they're bullish. It's simply because they're done bidding, and the next biggest pool of liquidity will be to the upside. Okay, so the reason that this move stopped to the downside, that this drop stopped, is because the big players were done bidding, and what they wanted to do next was offer out Bitcoin. So what do you have on this candle? They're offering out Bitcoin. On this candle, they're offering out even more Bitcoin. On this imbalance, offering out even more Bitcoin. And that the reason that this move stops is because they're done offering out Bitcoin, and now this is another bidding cycle, and then the cycles repeat. So they kind of create the reactions, if you want to call it that way, but they don't dictate it based on levels. They only look at liquidity and where they can get the most amount of orders filled. Okay, so I hope that this made sense and it wasn't too complicated. But so if they bid, how can they drop the price? Again, the price drops because retail traders are opening short positions on market. Okay, so what you have, let's say right there, someone bought Bitcoin. Okay, a retail trader was opening long positions with market orders. When price drops back down, what he'll have down there is a stop losses and liquidations, which means that when price drops down there, this limit order will turn into a market sell order. And when this retail trader sell, the market maker and big players will be bidding out Bitcoin. Okay, So these stop losses and liquidations is retail market selling Bitcoin while the market maker and bigger players are bidding Bitcoin. Okay, so they're buying up these limit orders. And when they're done bidding, okay, that's when price will go back up, because what they will do is now hunt the stop losses and liquidations of people who have been going short, mainly inside of these imbalances. Okay, so right there. Does this make sense? I hope it does make sense. Can remove all of this. There it clicked, thank you. Okay, so I hope that I hope I didn't talk too much, but I mean, I'm trying to make it as, I mean, not as quick as possible, but I don't want to confuse you, okay? Market makers are not as complicated as you think, okay? All the markets do is search for pools of liquidity. And that's why most people, what they will do, like they did down there, is what they do, they take this low, and then they say that they want to see a deviation below that low, because what you'll have below that low is stop losses and liquidations, and they want to see a reversal. But this doesn't always work, because the markets are not that simple. And there's a reason why personally I didn't want to see a break below this level. Okay. Uh but they have to buy, but they what but they have to buy to move price up and vice versa. No, they what they do to move price higher is offer out Bitcoin. Okay, so what you have above this high, for example, is big players and the market maker offering out Bitcoin. So he will be selling Bitcoin. And how does price move up? It will be retail traders market buying this move up and filling the limit orders of these bigger players. And that's how prices move up. So price moves up on retail putting in market orders, and bigger players selling, offering out Bitcoin. And the opposite with move downs, with the moves down. I mean, that's just how it is. I'm not making things up. That's how markets work. So again, keep it simple. When price moves up, they are offering out Bitcoin. And all of this is market buys by retail traders. Okay, market makers don't market buy inside of these candles. What they do is limit buy and bid out Bitcoin inside of these drops. If you go back on the 1 hour, one final example with the imbalances, you can see right there, you have two imbalances. So what is this? They are bidding Bitcoin. And then on this low, they're done bidding Bitcoin, and now price moves up and they're offering out Bitcoin. And then the cycle repeats. And you'll understand why imbalances are so important inside of our courses. I mean, again, it's not a coincidence that price even right there bottomed against a partially filled 1 hour imbalance. Okay, and it's not a coincidence if you go on the 12 hour that price bottomed on this 12 hour imbalance. Okay, and it's not a coincidence that price bottomed right there by front running this bigger imbalance. I mean, I talked about this before. That's not hindsight analysis. You guys know I had just one scenario. Okay, nothing is a coincidence in the markets, and that's how we are able to predict these moves with such accuracy. And right there, same thing. And see, daily imbalance, you hit the open and then you bounce. Okay, so I hope that's clear enough. So with that said, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think we can recap Bitcoin. You can see we are dropping, as I do want to see. Unfortunately, we are not taking the high again. Let me look at the... I don't know. I'll set an alert right there in case it does. So 119.5. That would be my alert. And then if we take the high, I might open a short position for the front run of $120,000. So any more questions, or can you recap what we're looking for? I think we don't have any more questions. When alt season? Oh my, this this word has been thrown around literally since the bottom of the bear, literally since 2022. I mean, I don't know. I talked about this before. Just look for strong altcoins and look for good levels. I mean, Solana is the best example. We had two levels, one massive bounce, two massive bounce, and you don't really care about alt season. You just look for good coins and strong levels. That's it. And that's why I'm looking at Kaito. It's not because I believe alt season is coming or any or whatever. It's just because it looks like a very strong coin. I like this move sideways, and I believe that the next move will be up for a new all-time high on Kaito. And we have a daily. Okay, that's nice. We do have a daily imbalance up there to target. Okay, 2.2. So I think we don't have any more questions. Okay, so I'll just recap what I'm looking for on Bitcoin this week, and then if you have any more questions, just send them, and if not, we'll just end the live. So this week, I am looking for a drop right now. It can be from this high, we drop back into this level, or what I would love to see ideally is just one more high, front shunt $120,000 and then chop to the downside. It doesn't make a big difference. It's still a front shunt of that big psychological level, but that's what I would look for. So, okay, drop down to this level. Why this level? Because on Binance especially, we have a daily imbalance right there that I would love to see recovered. On Bybit, okay, we have a 30-minute imbalance, which is good enough for me to look for a job. And we have the anchored VWAP, which does look like it will make its way up there. So ideally, when we got that drop, if we got that drop, the anchored VWAP that we took from, is it taken right? No, just one candle, doesn't make a big difference. But if that anchored VWAP can move up when we drop, I think this would be the perfect confluence to look for a bounce to the upside and take out that big psychological psychological level at $120,000. And that would be my plan for now. And if this happens, as I said, I will make another update on YouTube. And if this doesn't happen, if we get a bigger drop, well, of course, we can also make another YouTube update. So pretty simple scenario on Bitcoin. Can you look at INJ and DGB? Of course. I was looking at INJ because you had this scenario. Unfortunately, no level got hit. I am surprised. I do have to admit I am surprised that this daily imbalance was not hit. At least this one. But I mean, you look. I'll look for a new level because this one doesn't look like it's gonna hit. But I just have to say this level really looked good. 8.6. So INJ, you can look always volume profile. Definitely want to mark out this. And for this one, I am actually interested in the midpoint as well. I just want to see which one has more confluence. So that would be 1156. Let's mark it there. It's fine. So which one has more confluence? Since the low, point of control below. I mean, you have the value area low there. This level is so nice. So nice. Oof. Okay, so you do have the value area low right there as well. Do we get that drop? That would be my best level. That's where the confluence is. $11. That's it. $11. Can I find anything else? Mantis is a nice level. On the 3-day maybe? And that would be lower. We can look at this range. No, man, you have the point of control down there as well. I mean, I think you can see why I like both of these levels, okay? You do have very nice confluence. So if you don't want to wait for that level, that would be your first one, 11.1. But for me, again, that is just the way that I trade. If it doesn't chop to at least this level, which is just below $10. I don't know if I want to look at INJ. But again, I think this is a decent level. We did find confluence on it, so can we get that drop into it? Okay, into it. We got a reversal. Possible, but I'm not going to set an alert on it because I'm not the biggest fan of that level. I don't know. As I said, I'm surprised that this level was front run. I'm just surprised about it. We can make it even a bit bigger for now, like this. Okay, think daily open, like this. And that will be it for INJ. And AGB as well. This is not on my watch list. Let's look at it. Again, didn't reach my level. Double bottom. Move this here. Okay. So I think I'll look for this open on the GB. You don't want to see the fill of this daily. And of course, I think we could look at the anchored view up on this. From this. Okay. This does look like it could make its way up until the GB drops. So maybe anchored view up and then up. I don't think we get these levels below for this coin at least. You have a 1 hour. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. 12 hour. Okay, so you have a 12-hour order. I mean, yeah, I think this would be your nice level on day GB. I think that's enough daily open and 12-hour order block. From the low, nothing. How about this range? Okay, perfect. And you have the value area high right there. So very nice level on day GB for this one. You can mark it out as an area if you want. Okay. So take this order block. That would be it. So what you have, you potentially have the anchored view up. Okay, right now it's not there, so let me remove this. You potentially have the anchored view up. You have a daily imbalance to front run. And of this range, you have the value area high. So that's a decent level on the GB. Okay. That's it. How long has the live been? Just below 1 hour, okay. I think that's fine. Bitcoin still dropping. Do we take that high again? I think we do. I don't know why I think we take that high. But yeah, I think you guys understand what my scenario is for now. Okay, so we don't need... Thank you for the great live again. Well, thank you for the questions. Okay, this live would have been much shorter without you. So it does seem like we don't have any more questions. I'm not gonna recap Bitcoin. You can see this the scenario right there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We'll come back tomorrow inside the Discord for everyone inside of our server. If anyone is new and you want to join our Discord, it is free, okay? It is free, so the link should be down in the description. And if not, you will find the link inside of our website, crypto.com. And that's it, okay? So I will wish you guys a great rest of your weekend, a great evening, and a profitable week of trading ahead. So thanks everyone for joining in, and thanks everyone for the questions, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.